we have anything juicy?
I'm trying to think. It hasn't really been anything like, well, the Trey songs, right?
No, it's just sexual abusey.
Not juicy enough for
Not
you.
juicy, sexual abusey.
Mike Tyson, fuck, because we talk deep shit too.
Yeah.
We don't be getting Mike Tyson deep.
Yeah, Mike Tyson gets like,
I don't
Like,
know. We get
Aaron,
deep
what do
though
you think
too.
about your life and the trajectory of your future?
Oh, I was just talking
Why
about this.
Do you feel like what do you think happens after you die?
You realize you ain't shit. Life ain't really shit except what your ego tells you it is. Sometimes you gotta just kill your
You've been
ego.
listening to Mike Tyson.
But it's not in the nature of man. That's why in the Romans they had the gladiator, stadiums, the domes, and they would fight to the death so that the rich could be entertained. It just puts it into perspective that your life might not be shit, but your ego yearns for your life to be something.
yo.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Gotta kill your ego.
Thank you, Mike.
First in the beach with $1 million
How's your level on the
auto.
Everything don't need to be addressed.
All right, so let's get into it then.
Flips like a FedEx truck.
It's your weekly dose. If it's worth talking about, we talking about it. What up, y'all? You already know.
What we talking about?
Yo, only one thing to talk about this week. Pusha T.
This year.
This year. It might be just this year too. You never know. Because right now, this might be the album of the year.
Yo, is it dry yet?
That's what some people
are saying. Is it dry yet or is it almost dry?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost.
Check
I don't know though, because it's never dry for me.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
TMI, but all right.
I mean, it depends how you take it, what I'm saying.
Listen.
I was gonna say some people are saying album of the year, and then I'm so surprised at how much I'm reading like Instagram comments and seeing people like try to shit on Pusha T in this album. And I like when I'm reading those kind of comments, I'm like, there's probably some cornball that don't really know Pusha.
There's somebody who's
and
part of the
feels like he
Barbs.
only knows because they only know Pusha because of the Drake shit, maybe. And
I'll say this: I usually
it's embarrassing how many of those
I usually take the temperature of like albums by going to Twitter. I think you get a better barometer of like what the feeling is on Twitter than you do Instagram, because Instagram is very spammy. So you get like a lot of weird shit on Instagram in the comment sections. I don't really go by that. On Twitter,
what's the Twitterverse saying? What's Elon Musk saying?
Elon Musk, matter of fact, Elon Musk. I'm gonna tie Elon Musk into Pusha in a second, but nah.
Wow me.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
You're gonna be amazed. But nah.
Elon Musk is the Dr. Seuss of cocaine as well. Like, what do you mean?
Elon Musk bought Dr. Seuss. But anyway, nah.
Wow.
Nah.
Oh, I thought that was
it. So from what I see, it's pretty unanimous in terms of like the acclaim that it's getting on Twitter. Like people are fucking with it heavy. Some people are saying that it's a classic. Some people are saying it's his best album. Some people are saying
throwing classic around after 5 days.
I mean, some shit hits immediate. I ain't mad at it.
Oh, you ain't mad at that?
That's what I was trying to say about Drake and Josh. Right.
Who put in work for years to get that stamp.
All right.
Don't
Clearly, there's a bias here.
Let's not talk about Drake and Josh when we talk about Pusha T. Like,
ghost is ghost.
It does.
Classics is classics.
We talked about them when we talked about T.I. What's the difference?
T.I. is not Pusha T. Respectfully,
you're in the hot seat now. You're in the hot seat now. We about to light your ass up.
But nah, I've seen it. The overwhelming majority. Now, I mean, there's nothing that's 100% unanimous in terms of like everybody's gonna have opinions. I see some people saying that it's mid. Some people were saying like, I mean, it's good. It ain't that good. Like people
ain't nothing
calm
mid
down.
but the weed they smoking,
pretty much. But
I'm gonna say it right now. That shit the classic.
I agree.
That
I don't
shit's
think
going down as a
there's
classic.
really.
I agree.
I don't think there's any skips on it.
Nah, there's no skips.
I listen to that shit on rotation.
skips.
Fucking album is
over
flawless.
and over and over. Like my roommate Kenneth was like, "Yo, you really fucking with that album, huh?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I just let it play. I just let it play
Yo,
all
that-
day. I just let it play.
You trapping now.
The shit is
You
immediate.
cooking in the kitchen.
You should have seen me.
You bought all the Pyrex shit.
Nah, but that
Eric loves it. He loves it.
I just like, I don't
Eric's
know.
like, now y'all talking my talk.
Eric listened to it with no pants on.
No, man.
Bruh.
I get to live out my coke fantasies when I listen to Pusha T and albums like this. Let's be honest. I'm the furthest thing from a fucking coke dealer or any of that. But like when I listen to this shit, like I really want to be fucking just like, doing some wild shit.
Making it snow in the summer.
Exactly. I'm trying to
You feel me?
I'm trying to do lines off of strippers' titties, like let's get crazy.
Chill out, Trey Songz. I was gonna say, what's your favorite track off the album? Let's start there.
For me,
I could go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
you go first. You go first.
Oh. I mean, it's hard.
And do y'all count? Because I was telling Aaron earlier or the other day, like
yesterday,
when I'm looking at an album after I listen to it, and I'm like, oh, what's my favorite track off of it? I can't really place the singles within the rest of the album anymore because I've just heard the singles so much. So like,
nah, still 100%.
Do you consider it or no?
Embrace the singles.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Diet Coke is still like top 5 to me on the album.
Okay.
So what's your favorite though? If you had to pick one.
That's where I was going. Like, I really love all the songs, but if I had to pick,
all right, so pick 3.
Okay, but I'll still list them. Like number 1 would probably be, as of right now, Smoker Shine the Coupe. Let the smoker shine. If money is the root, what? Oh, anyway, Brambleton intro, because once I heard that intro, and I hope 95% of the people who heard this album, when they heard that intro, felt like they were about to hear a classic Clips album. I felt like I was back in 2006. Hell Hath No Fury.
Definitely Hell Hath No Fury vibes.
Oh my God. So I would say Let the Smoker Shine the Coupes, Brambleton. Then it's a toss-up for me between, it's like 3 songs where it could be in my top 3, but they're definitely in my top 5. And it's a tie between Call My Bluff, because of that flow. Love it. And his tone sounds a little like Mace. Am I the only one that thinks
Definitely.
So? Right? He had the Mace tone on it. Call My Bluff. Scrape It Off really grew on me a lot. And Diet Coke.
Okay.
Those would be my top 5 songs.
For me, Brambleton, I can't get enough of that track. Like literally the first 3 tracks, I will just run back for like an hour straight. Like I could literally do that. I could just turn the album into an EP and just do like the first 5 songs. Actually, the first 5, Neck and Wrist, and then Just So You Remember. So for me,
Just So You Remember.
Oh my God! And that sample.
When I heard that sample, I was like, nah.
Also, do you hear his flow and how he's like, just so you remember? Like he's like the inflections in his voice and the way he's delivering is like you've never heard him like this before, quite like this.
But that's something I was gonna say though about the whole album. Like, I don't think there was a flaw in any verse Pusha put on this album.
Yeah,
he made sure like every verse was perfect. Like it just blows my mind. Like every verse is hard, even on a song like Dreaming of the Past.
Dreaming of the Past. Yeah.
That's the Kanye feature.
That's the first Kanye record on the album, and Kanye's on it, but the beat don't hit like the Pharrell beats, It's more sample driven, old school Kanye.
Very is kind of Daytona like, and it's very kind of like Otis like.
Yes, where it's more heavy on the sample than really like the other instruments around it. But like but when you hear those verses, like you don't need drums on that beat because you need to hear what the fuck Pusha's saying on that
That's
shit.
a great
like,
point. Just
oh
to
my
hop on
God.
that point though, I think what is beautiful about this album and the way that it's produced is that there's a minimalist kind of feel to the production. I'm not saying that it's simple necessarily, but like you could be simple and complex with production. And I think all like the way it's produced, the way the beats are formatted and laid out, it's all purposeful. And because the biggest instrument on any track is Pusha's voice and his lyrics, and like you want to have that shine. Sometimes in the past, you know, and it's not only Pusha. Sometimes a great lyricist or a great rapper could kind of get lost in the instrumentation of a beat. If there's too much going on, you kind of, as a producer, want to strip some of that back. It's really about making the vocalist shine more so than making yourself look good because you got this crazy beat. It has to be a marriage between the vocals and in the production and stuff. And I felt like Pharrell really, really nailed it. And it's very, very Hell Hath No Fury, but like 2022 version. And then Kanye is like there is a Daytona element to it, but you know, 2022 version. And I feel like, yeah, man, I think the album's fucking great. Like I've been playing that shit nonstop. But I was gonna say Brambleton, uh, just so you remember, I love that record. Open Air, I fucks with a lot also.
Too.
Let the Smoker Shine the Coupe, obviously. Like there's so many. Um, it's just it's fire. It's fire. And I almost wish that I did not hear Diet Coke, Hear Me Clearly, and some of those other things, because if I would have not heard those before this, and like I would have been like, yo, what the fuck? Like this is like one of the greatest fucking albums ever. Like I don't know what I would have said.
See, that's the point that's the point I'm trying to make when I say like it's almost I can't even put it in the same, because if I heard it straight through like that and I'm like, holy shit, and hearing it all for the first time, like nah, like this shit, and it is crazy, but it would have been even crazier.
Oh, I got a question for y'all.
So you go. Junebug didn't
Oh, that's
say
right.
his
Go ahead.
favorite.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what the fuck, Eric?
My bad.
No. Nah, mine are like different from y'all, I feel like the top two tracks I'm playing now, and that's the thing, like I've rotated between like what tracks I was playing the most. Like at some point it was Just So You Remember, at some point it was Dreaming of the Past. Like right now it's Call My Bluff. I can't get enough of that shit, and I Pray For You. Like I listen
I
to
pray
those
for you.
shits.
Malice.
OD
Fire.
Malice
We
and the
gotta-
Labyrinth. Like I became like a huge Labyrinth fan because he does like the score of like Euphoria and shit. So like I fell in love with that sound, and then just hearing it kind of come out of nowhere on this album, and then for the outro track, and then the Malice feature, it just went so hard for me. And
We need that Clips
Call My
album.
Bluff. And then if I had to pick a third, I
you-
really fuck with the both Kanye featured tracks too. I usually fuck with like Kanye, like soulful samples and stuff like that. Like I know, I think the difference is like y'all fuck with like the more pure essence hip hop type shit,
Yeah.
and I fuck with a lot more like soulful shit. That always gets me a little more. So those would probably be. I can't even really choose between like Dreaming of the Past, and I would probably lean Dreaming of the Past over like Rock and Roll, but I fuck with both of those too. But Call My Bluff and I Pray For You are like the top two for me right now.
Yeah,
Not including like Neck and Wrist and Diet Coke. I can't even like.
I would
rate those.
say,
Bro, he has my bad.
no, go ahead,
bad.
go ahead.
He has a fucking Little Uzi verse on a fucking drug dealing, cocaine, hardcore hip hop album, and nobody's complaining.
No, exactly, and I would complain because
Someone,
I'm
yeah,
not like
I
crazy
could
about
imagine
Lil
people be
Uzi
like,
Vert.
how the fuck he's gonna put Little Uzi on this fucking album?
Mhm.
Bro, it's all perfect. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Go,
it
Eric.
somehow worked.
I cut you off.
Nah,
bro.
I was gonna say, fuck. Yeah, I feel like if I like the rock and roll song, but it's not one of my favorites off the project. If there was one that I would say I would skip, it might be that. And no, don't get me, I don't really skip it. I'm playing the album through, right? But I have ones that I kind of like play again and loop more than others. But
I would say Rock and Roll for me is also at the
Yeah.
bottom of the list. If you had to rank all the songs, that would probably be the last song on my list. But when I'm thinking about it, that's how I feel thinking about it. But like you kind of alluded to, when I listen to the album, I listen to it straight through and I'm like, nah, none of this shit's whack.
Oh yeah.
Like thinking back, I might think like Rock and Roll, man, it's cool, but it's like the bottom of the totem for the. And then I listen, I'm like, nah, like everything's flawless, and that's Pharrell and Kanye together, the only track that they produced together.
Yeah, which is ironic.
Which is ironic. Yeah. Have they ever produced a song together before though in the past that I might just not be?
Yes,
that might be the first song they
I
ever
think on
produced
Watch
together.
the Throne they did.
Watch the Throne. Okay. And I would imagine maybe like the reason I didn't say or allude to like that being the first one ever, because I would imagine when they had that crew, Child Soldier Rebel,
Child Rebel
with,
Soldier,
Child Rebel CRS, yeah, with Lupe, they probably did some beats together and shit. Like that one record that came out, probably they produced together, and we just don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But
I like the point that you made with Open Air. I think you said it was like a Mace flow that he used, or was it
no,
Call My Bluff.
Yeah,
that is the Mace
that's
flow,
accurate.
the tone.
Yeah, but if you listen to, there are a couple tracks on there where he's also doing the Biggie flow. If you listen to Brambleton, there is Biggie influence in that track, and if you listen to Open Air, 100% Biggie, the way he's riding the track, and even some of the ad libs, like the ha-has that he's doing, like the way he's letting the track breathe, and like the pauses, like it's very calculated. And he even said, actually, Pusha has a recent Instagram post. I'm gonna pull it up.
Oh yeah, where he's giving flowers to Puff.
Exactly. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. And even on Diet Coke, I felt like there was undertones of like when he says real G's like we Hove and Puff. Like I went and listened to that song and I felt like, is it me or this beat sounds familiar? Like if it was sampled for the fucking Diet Coke record.
Well, I mean,
I would have to listen again or closely, but it's similar, those two beats.
Pusha has always been influenced by Biggie. He's always talked about that. Like Biggie is one of his favorite rappers ever. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, on Pusha he reposted a video clip of Puffy praising the project. And then he said in his caption, anytime I've had a lack of inspiration, I search for you. When I throw my voice in the studio mimicking B.I.G., and the writers' fans notice, what they don't know is that it was you in 2015 showing me how to turn the corner in those verses to add magic to the song. You've always shared the codes with me, whether approving albums on the outdoor home speakers at the LA estate, to driving the causeways on the golf carts through Miami Beach, just listening to Mogul talk. I'll say all this to let you know, although Pharrell and Kanye executive produce Almost Dry, it is your DNA, your fingerprints, your spirit all over this motherfucker. Thank you for everything.
Wow.
So yeah.
Big praise. 2015. I'm trying to figure out, like, because I was going to say, damn, does that mean he was working on Last Train to Paris? But Last Train to Paris was like 2009. 2010.
Never heard that way of saying 2009.
I mean, I was going to say 2010, but then 2009 came in and shit.
I'm going to start saying that shit.
2009, 2008.
Back in 2002.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, like, bro, like you said, the Biggie shit though with Push, it's always been there. It's always been evident, and he's always bigged up Puff and Big.
Yeah.
and shit like that. So like there, like you said, like the way he takes those breaths, those pockets where he stops, comes back, you can hear the Biggie flow.
All right,
Sure.
so another a question for y'all. Like me and Aaron kind of spoke about this the other day, but so given the fact that the two main producers on this project are Pharrell and Kanye West, naturally people are having discussions on who had the better production. So I want to open it up so this way we can offer our opinions and kind of, basically, explain why we feel that Pharrell had the better beats. Go ahead.
I want Junebug to go first.
Nobody even picked
Aaron
up what
was
I
telling
did
me,
right there, but it's all right.
I picked it up.
Aaron was telling me he was like listening off the Kanye tracks versus the Pharrell tracks, and honestly, I think I lean like Kanye tracks, but not because I'm like, oh, I love Kanye's. It's just I happen to fuck with those tracks more than the other tracks if you put them side by side.
All right, so you like the songs?
I
you like the
believe.
songs better, but what I'm asking is, do you like the
Exactly.
production better?
Well, I don't even know who
All right,
produced
so
what if you don't
I'll
say
go
it to
through
me.
it. So on this project, Brambleton is Pharrell. Let the Smoker Shine a Coupe is Pharrell. Dreaming of the Past is Kanye. Neck and Wrist, Pharrell. Just So You Remember, Kanye. Produced with others, but it's a Kanye one.
That's something I was gonna say. There's one flaw in Kanye's production on the out. He collabed with mad people,
which
for
is
his
typical
beats.
for Kanye.
Pharrell only collabed with people on one of the beats. The rest is strictly produced by
Diet
Pharrell.
Coke, Kanye 88 Keys. Rock and Roll, Kanye, and I think a couple others. Call My Bluff, Pharrell. Scrape It Off, Pharrell. Hear Me Clearly, I believe that's Kanye and somebody else.
And two other people.
Open Air, Pharrell. I Pray For You, Kanye.
Yeah, see, I would say I feel like I lean Kanye in terms of those tracks. In terms of production, I don't know. Like I don't listen to it and think like, damn, I like this production on this track better than this production.
So
on
the way
this
you
track.
listen
I'm
is more
like,
so kind of like overall. Because
yeah, because I mean, I didn't go into it like thinking about like, I wonder what Pharrell's production is gonna sound versus Kanye's production. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't thinking of it that deep. I was just hoping to hear a good album. So like with that in mind, now I can go back and be like, let me really try to break it down and see. But just based off those tracks, like I lean to the Kanye tracks, I believe.
And you gotta listen to them in like different settings. Like you gotta listen on some loudspeakers. You gotta listen in your headphones.
Yeah, well, I'm limited
like,
in that way.
I know you're limited, but I'm just saying, like when you do it in those different settings, it gives
you can appreciate
more
the
of
different.
Different ways to tap into the
basically
actual
what he's
production
saying,
and the sound of it.
What
I don't got fucking like I'm playing the shit on my phone or on my computer. I'm not like in a whip with some speakers. I'm not putting like professional headphones.
But that's what Aaron's basically alluding to, because the Pharrell's the sub on Pharrell, the kicks and snares on Pharrell's beats, they sounded different.
Yeah, I can't experience it that same way.
You gotta.
That's what I'm getting you for your birthday.
Okay, thank you.
A nice Bluetooth speaker.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue with
you. But so, are you in agreement with that, Aaron, in terms of the Pharrell? Because like that's where I lean. I lean Pharrell.
He loves Pharrell.
I lean Pharrell on this album.
Pharrell heavy, especially because this could give the viewers out there a good insight to the type of people like me and Eric are when it comes to music. Like we're really, and that's something me and Eric connected on day one. When albums drop, things like that, me and Eric go to the albums, we listen right away. We might even have listening sessions as we're listening. We're like, yo, who produced this? We're looking in the credits. Or if Eric's like, yo, I don't even know who produced that, this person produced it. Or sometimes an album be so good that we're just like, yo, we didn't even look at the production. Who did this? Who did that? And then go back and like, me and Eric has always been like that. Like that's just like the type of music fans we are.
Yeah, I'm not that deep with it.
I know you don't go to like you just
sometimes
like what
I
you
can tell. Like I remember, like for example, like a quick example. Remember you played me that Big Sean track, and I was like, that shit sound just like the Drake track off his last album, the shit that bumps,
Mm.
it's one of my favorite Drake tracks off that album.
Wait, it's on Drake's album?
Yeah, it's on his last joint.
Is it the one with Travis Scott?
Nah, it's like the middle of the album. Hold on, I got you right now.
But what's your point that you said it sounded like?
I said it sounded like it sounded the same. It sounded similar to that track, and you said, "Oh, it's produced by the same person."
Same person.
Yeah. So like I could pick up on little shit like that sometimes, where I could just hear the sound and I could be like, "Oh, I could tell this is probably, like influenced or produced by this person." But I don't go into it like it's not something I'm looking for. Like I'm not like, damn, I need to know who produced it. Like sometimes maybe if it really goes
sometimes
hard,
a track will come on that the shit's hitting so hard that the first thing I think is like, who produced this?
Yeah.
More so than even listening to the fucking lyrics.
Yeah, I'm a sucker.
Oh, No Friends in the Industry was the track.
Okay.
And then Big Sean had dropped a song at some point after that.
I love songs that are
maybe
kind
weeks
of
later.
melodic and soulful, but I'm a sucker for hard drums. So like when you got tracks that are smacking you in the face, which is why I like, especially like the first two tracks are just like in my fucking wheelhouse. Like, to start the album, because they especially the second one has a lot of energy to it. But I was gonna say, interesting. So I found this on Twitter. There's a Twitter page called Hip Hop by the Numbers. I don't know if y'all heard of it or not, but
I've heard about it.
so I don't know how accurate this is, but I thought it was interesting. So they broke down Pusha T, It's Almost Dry, by average Spotify streams per producer. So one thing to note, it looks like Pusha and his team kind of caught on to the debate between Pharrell and him, and they re-released a playlist via Pusha where it's just he has the Pharrell tracks grouped together and then the Kanye tracks grouped together. So it's the same album, but it's just a different track list order to group, whose part of the album it is or whatever. So kind of playing on the whole discussion to a degree. So per the Hip Hop by the Numbers page, it says 2.7 million Pharrell 2.7 million listens for the Pharrell tracks. Pharrell has 7 production credits. 4.6 million for Kanye's. He has 6 production credits. And then he did a poll. Whose beats do you prefer on the project? 30% said Pharrell, 70% said Kanye, and at the time there were 10,876 votes. I was shocked at that. Not that Kanye got 70, won the poll, but 70-30 was fucking insane to me. I thought it would be closer.
I would say the poll, you could kind of throw that out, because once people read the names, they're gonna have some bias. And there's a lot of Kanye stands.
Yeah, Pharrell fans are different than Kanye fans. Kanye fans are like,
But I think like the better, I guess, thing to look at is the first thing which you said, which was
how many listens,
because that's more. A lot of people are probably like me, that they're not going into it thinking like, I'm gonna listen to the Kanye tracks only, or I'm gonna listen to the Pharrell tracks.
There are people that are like that too.
No, there are, but I would think that that's a better indicator than the poll where it says Pharrell or Kanye. But also then you have to think about the singles that were released. Like Diet Coke came out first, so that's probably gonna have the most listens of anything, right? If I had to guess, I could be wrong, and that's a Kanye produced track, so that's gonna skew it a little bit.
But does that go into
it should
new playlist? It should, right?
Yeah, because it's just all the.
So I would say
hear me clearly as well.
Hear me clear. Yeah, it's 2 singles to 1 that was released for Kanye.
Early. Yeah,
against Pharrell.
And Neck and Wrist was the last one of the 3.
It just got released
so
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it'll be skewed.
A week before the album came out.
No, it's about 2.
Or maybe a week and a half.
Week and a half at least.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Kanye already got the edge on the listens right
But it
there.
don't mean shit. It's just something to kind of look at it. I thought it was interesting. But shout,
Yeah.
90% of fans are fucking idiots.
I agree. Shouts to Pusha though. He got his first #1
Fuck yeah.
project.
Facts. Shout out to Push,
First
#1, baby.
project at 44 years old, like 20 years in the game.
Damn, he's 44.
44.
He old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I didn't know till recently? That
What?
fucking Pusha and Malice aren't twins. Like I swore they were twins for so long.
I swore they were twins too, but Malice is older.
Yeah, by 4 years, I think I read. But I swore they were twins.
Oh, I didn't even know that
49.
much. Oh shit! I thought Malice was only older by like 2 years
4.
or some shit.
I know when they first came out, I swore they were twins, and then I guess I just
Everyone
rolled with
did.
it, and I never cared to kind of look into it and be like
The whole thing was like, oh, he has braids because he wants to differentiate from
himself.
his twin brother. That was the whole thing. Everybody thought like,
Yeah.
Nah, Malice's
Hell
verse
yeah.
was hard though.
Bodied it.
Malice's verse was.
I like
hard.
the detail of like I think Pusha came out and said it that Malice told him to list him on the feature as Malice, not no
Yes, I was
Malice,
just gonna say that.
which is dope.
Ooh, I didn't hear that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
And
Expand.
I mean that's pretty
Expand
much
on
the gist
that.
of it.
That's all he said.
Go ahead, Eric. Eric probably has more details.
I don't know.
The most detailed in the game. There you go, Eric. That's 2 weeks in a row. I hit
Thank
you
you.
with that.
Appreciate it. Even though it was a backhanded compliment, but whatever. I'll take it.
When? The first time or the
I don't
second
know.
time?
I feel like the second time. There's too
Wasn't
many-
both. At least one of them was
Okay.
genuine. I don't remember the last time. This one was
All
genuine.
right.
I think the last time was backhanded because I think
Yeah.
that was in the last episode.
It could have been. And
Anyway,
he was
I'm
talking
not trying
about
to stir
Zach
no
or some
shit.
Nah, stir. Go ahead. Cook
I
up
don't
the pot.
remember it. I don't remember
But,
the details.
Nah, I'm scared. Your hat says
Yo,
death.
Yeah, what's up with that?
This is
You know, that's one of the first things I noticed when we came on today. I was like, okay, my hat says Kings, but his says death.
this is a
I'm
Mishka
like,
hat. I don't know if y'all remember that streetwear
Hell
brand.
yeah.
But I found it in my closet.
Yeah, I used to
Of
pronounce it. I used to pronounce it Mishka. Is that incorrect?
It might be correct. It's a Russian.
okay.
It's a Russian name.
I used to pronounce it Mushka.
Okay, you just can't
Yeah,
read.
so.
Nah, I'm lying. I'm
You
lying.
just have issues
But
reading.
yeah. So the Malice stuff. I think what that could signal is more so like it could just be a return to the game and maybe a reuniting of him and Pusha, because like he adopted the No Malice persona when he went solo and he kind of started doing Christian rap. Like when he left the Clips,
Mhm.
he kind of like took a new direction in his life and he got into religion and faith and kind of gave his life up to that. So like doesn't mean that he's leaving that necessarily. But if you hear his verses, there's even like a curse or two like in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah. He even said, he was like, I might tell him something, and then I might tell him to
Bury
go
them
like
all.
finish.
Yeah,
you.
he would.
Bury
some
all
shit,
of
right?
them.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Bury all
Yes.
of them. Yeah, like he
Nah,
was
his
like,
shit
yeah,
goes
I might
hard.
tell you.
Like I was
I told you follow God, but then I might tell him to bury
I
you.
was
Like
on the phone with
I-
my
I don't know the
brother
exact
just going
quote, but-
through the verse like, nah, listen
Have
to
you
this
ever
shit.
heard Hell Hath No
I just
Fury?
thought he went hard. When I was
You
younger,
gotta
probably,
re-listen
and
to
then I
that.
just never returned to it. I probably gotta
Re-listen to
re-listen
that.
because I've never been a
You-
big like Pusha fan.
Okay.
Like, not that I disliked him.
It's just
I
not
just
on your radar.
never gave it a ton of opportunities. Yeah, I mean, there was moments where like I would have certain shit in my playlist, but never like listening like thoroughly to like full projects where
Yeah.
I'm like really like engaged.
Hell hath no fury, fear of God. The
Let me ask you a
mixtape.
question. Given
There's
this
another
project
one.
and is in after hearing it now, I've been sitting for it for almost a week or whatever. When I said my Jadakiss comment, do you want to
I figured you would bring that up.
does it make you reconsider at least? I'm not saying I'm not trying.
I still think the argument that me and Aaron made is still valid in that Pusha he's not giving you a bunch of music. So when he does, it's very like it's high quality always. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very much because he's giving you less. Like less is more. He's a good example of less is more. And when he gives you that, when he finally gives you something, it's like well done. It's thorough. It's just high
Doesn't do a
quality.
ton
So
of
I think that
features, you know.
yeah, I
Doesn't
think
do a ton
so.
of
I think that was
features. Yeah.
the argument that we
You
kind of
did
made.
make that argument.
Whereas Jada is like giving a feature to someone we might not even know, who's just paid him for the feature, and he's like, "Fuck it," and he'll jump on any
But
record. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So it could lessen the quality of his work.
I get that.
But skill wise, our
Skill
argument was
wise,
that some people may consider
they're-
Jadakiss
I'm not
better
dismissing that. I'm not
and
dismissing
rank
that.
him
but
higher.
Pusha did.
I wanted to
Pusha
clarify
really,
though.
I think, for me, definitely made me think twice about it. Because before you brought this up, I was already thinking about like, I wonder if Eri's gonna bring that shit back up because low key, that's
I wanted
now
to
it feels a little
clarify
more
though.
valid.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify though, like I like Pusha more than I like Jada. I just had to be devil's advocate from the perspective of where you
I
might
love Jada,
rank
by the
them.
way. Shouts to Jada.
You know what
He's a
I'm saying?
legend. I love Jada. Always love the locks. Like, let's give him his flowers. He is a legend. But, and I had this argument also, like with somebody. I have it with my younger brother. He likes Fab. He's a Fab fan. But I always tell him, like, to me, Fab is cool, another legend. I respect him. But in my opinion, I was like, outside of Loso's way, I don't really think Fab has a great project outside of the Soul tapes, maybe. And those are not really official albums.
Young OG.
Well, like,
Young OG was
what
good
does he
too.
have that's a classic or considered or at least close to one? I think Loso's way is the closest thing.
Loso's way is the closest.
And then
yeah.
if we just strip it down to him as a rapper, in my opinion, Pusha T is a superior rapper to him. And in my opinion, it's not that close. And no disrespect to Fab. And the reason I say that is because as good as Fab is, he is very kind of formulaic. He's going to give you those kind of bars that are kind of like shit that you could put in your fucking social media kind of caption as a quote that females could use.
I remember that phase. That phase. That era of just mad Fab lyrics as captions.
Yeah, but the thing is that Pusha does his raps are bigger than punchlines and captions. Like when he says something that's a punchline, it's like, how did he just even compare this to
it's the word?
selling cocaine?
It's the word. It's the word play.
Like, how did
delivery.
he even put that in the same? Like Homeboy said, I'm cocaine's Dr. Seuss. Like nobody could write the stories about cocaine the way he does. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
a lot of what I was reading in comments too was like people were just like, bro, like all he does is coke raps. You know what I mean? And
I'm
like,
glad you brought that up.
People kind of just trying to shit on him like that.
I mean, look.
So to that, Yase.
My thing is this: like, that's such a stupid.
If it's broke, don't
well,
fix
it's that, but it's also this. Like, it's a stupid argument from that. If you think that all he does is rhyme about coke all the time, then you're really not listening. It's a lazy listen. And also, him as a drug dealer is a metaphor for more than for a lot of things. Actually, if you really dive into his music and his lyrics, it's kind of meaning through a lot of things. Like, so he kind of takes you through that kind of like prism of like him when he was hustling and stuff like that, but he kind of goes in different areas. It's a metaphor, a larger metaphor for life and stuff like that, and trials and tribulations and stuff. But and don't get me wrong, he glorifies it, but like, so does Rick Ross, so do so many rappers, so does Jadakiss, so do Styles P. I just think the difference between him is that he kind of stands alone, or just with a very few. You got Hove, you got B.I.G., you got Pusha T. There's not many good one, Jeezy. There's not many that do that shit as artfully as he does it. There's a difference. He's giving you luxury raps. It's just not coke raps. It's like there is a there is a certain lifestyle raps that he's giving.
There's
100%.
an elegance to it.
That is so weird. It's so weird that
Yeah.
Eric said the word artful, and like for some reason it really resonated with me when thinking about Pusha T. I was like, yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
word. He is like real artful
I
about it. And then you
agree.
said elegance to it, and I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, somehow it's really elegant. Like words that I wouldn't attribute to him, but like when y'all said it, I'm like,
No.
nah, like that's true.
That sums up his whole style of rapping about that shit. Like he's been that way. It's like you just gotta really, really like lock in on his catalog to really realize like, oh shit, like he raps, yeah, about cocaine, whatever they want to complain about, but the way he does it has always been an art to it and an elegance to it. Like it's
Yo.
crazy. And now it's like on steroids. This was the most flawless way he's
like this
ever
verse,
presented
right?
it.
On just so you remember, verse 2. Just so you remember who you dealing with. His Pyrex talks, but I'm the ventriloquist. Language different. I'm damn near an immigrant. A song with any of you niggas, I'm disinterested. The needle is sharp, but they ain't shooting insulin. You missing the point. These drums ain't Timberlands. Missing the point, Missy. Missing the point. I don't know if you know he's connecting that. Like, it's just like the way he's putting those words together is just. We fight for the bill. You niggas still chipping in. You Google to death the shit I get driven in. My boys in the hood is mixed with the menaces. The cane is sugar and cut by Dominicans. Kane is a character in Menace to Society. Yeah. So like the way he's tying all these words in, it's just like that's the thing. It's
Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. The Boys in the Hood mixed with the menaces.
Very
like,
all of that is very BIG 101. Like Big was somebody like if you talk to a Big hater in the same way Push, there were people back in the day who used to say that BIG just all he raps about is coke and he's a mafioso gangster rapper and shit like that. He really doesn't talk substance, especially if you're talking to a super Tupac fan who hated BIG. They would always point to like, oh, but you know, look at what he's talking about. Like he didn't talk about anything. And then, you know, look at what Pac was talking about, blah, blah, blah. Right. But like Big had a way to really kind of like be simple yet complex. Like he had
how y'all feel when he says she looks so good I suck on her daddy's dick? How y'all felt about that one?
I wasn't born when he said that.
I just want to throw Eric off. I knew Eric wouldn't take
that.
that.
But
well.
I heard that was like an old school saying, low key, that like wasn't. There was no pause, no
that
homo.
was
like,
you know what it always reminded
me of. That was an old school saying.
What it always reminded me of is Will Smith in The Fresh Prince, where he goes, "Girl, you look so good. I married your brother just to get in your family." That's what he said, and it reminds me of the same shit. It's like
it's a variation of that.
It's not so much.
But he wanted to say, "I'll suck on your daddies."
I don't know if he wanted to say that. But it's just the idea that like the focus isn't supposed to be on the what you talking about doing. It's the focus is supposed to be on like that's how close I'm trying to get to you.
Well, more than that, it's a shock line. It's intended to kind of shock you and kind of like so early BIG. What you're referencing, he came from like the Lyricist Lounge, like backpack type of rap in that style. Like that's a battle kind of rap where it's like I'm gonna say something shocking or whatever. Pre-pause era, pre-no homo era. Like
if he would have said that now, the ad lib definitely would have been like pause in the back.
He wouldn't have said it.
He wouldn't have said it. No way he says it.
Definitely would have never said it though. Yeah. Young Thug could get away with that shit though. He could say that. Young Thug should like sample it.
I feel like Young Thug probably has said it.
He should just name his album that, Young Thug.
Why not? That he would definitely go platinum.
I think he'll go double wood.
Pause.
Whoa, double wood on the "you look so good, y'all suck on your daddy's" what?
Come on,
there's no way that wasn't intentional by Eric. If that was unintentional,
yo, Give me some credit for the
Nah,
double
there's no way that
entendre,
was
though.
unfiltered.
Okay.
Give me some
was-
credit.
I don't know.
You
I don't
are
know
witty,
anymore, but
I'm not sure right now.
Of course, I fucking said it so he can say no homo and pause. Like that was perfect setup.
Nah, I don't know.
But like I
No,
said,
I don't know no more.
like I said, I'm over 30, so like I don't have to pause a no homo on me. So like I
Yeah.
don't care.
Ain't nobody did it to Biggie when he was 21
Yeah.
saying it.
You want you want to pause me in the comment section? Like go ahead. I don't care.
Yo, to be honest though, I could talk the whole episode about this Pusha album.
Yeah.
I do want to touch on though the Kid Cudi situation. Kid Cudi ended up being on the album on the same track as Ye. I've seen things where literally Push said that was the last record to get cleared because of the Cudi situation.
Of Cudi.
And pretty much Cudi hit him and was like, I'm only doing it because I love you.
For you.
But I cannot, you know what's going on. Like, I cannot fuck with Kanye right now.
It's over the Pete Davidson situation. Kanye called him out on Instagram and he felt hurt about that, and they had a back and forth. So like it sucks to see. Listen, this is not the first time they had kind of disagreements and fell out and didn't stop working with each other. So like hopefully in the future, but who knows? It could be the final straw. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. Cudi could have not cleared that record. It would have been all right. I'm joking.
Yeah. We could have had somebody else do that hook over with. We didn't need the extra added distortion and effects on it. That's one of my issues with that song. Like I felt like
Cudi's part?
I felt the chorus was like wasn't his best, and I felt like I didn't like the effects that they put on it.
Yeah.
Personally,
I honestly I love Kanye's part on that though. When he's like, you expected me to lie, right?
Yeah. It's cool.
I like that part and shit.
I like Kanye's verse
emotion
at the end of Dreaming of the Past.
Oh yeah.
It was short though.
I like when he said
it
became a minister, so I gotta be shine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, flawless fucking album.
He had the Fresh Prince line also was dope. Where he's
yeah, could have bought the house, but I didn't like the way the kitchen design. What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, I would say right now, bro, like only out a week, and I would say this is a classic album. If nobody considers it a classic right now, it's eventually gonna be considered a classic. The verses don't miss, the beats don't miss. I prefer Pharrell over Kanye on the album, but that's not to say Kanye had whack shit, because none of these songs are whack, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also like if you don't consider it a classic, that's cool. Like I'm not knocking you. If you think it's whack or you think it's mid, then you know what the fuck you're talking about. That's where I stand on that. Like I don't know how else to say it though. Like like I've been listening to music for a while. Like this is a good fucking album, really good album. So like
yeah,
all right. You know, like fucking topic aside, yeah, you don't like that he rhymes about coke. Well, like I'm not gonna tell Taylor Swift to stop rhyming. Start fucking singing about fucking past relationships and being heartbroken.
Yeah.
Like that's her bag.
Yeah.
Everybody got their bag, you know, like so.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Exactly.
And as the more casual listener of the group, I tend to agree with both of you on this topic. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it covers it on all fronts. It's like the more real, true, passionate hip hop fans, and even the more casual listener.
There's something for everybody.
I don't know how you can't fuck with this.
Yo, speaking of Elon Musk and Pusha T, though, I wanted to tie in where I was going to tie in. So,
I forgot you wanted to tie the Elon into that.
So, Elon Musk, if you're living under a rock, he just purchased fucking Twitter for $44 billion.
But why $44 billion?
So initially he became a shareholder in the company and became a board member. Mm-hmm. Then a little after that, he resigned from the board and was discussing openly on Twitter about wanting to buy Twitter. people don't know he's pretty active on Twitter. He actually, you know, even in the comment section, he'll respond to threads and stuff like that occasionally.
I feel like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
know.
So he's the closest thing to probably what Tony Stark that we have, if you really think about it.
For real.
Right? So love him or hate him, you know, like sometimes he rubs people the wrong way. But yeah, so he bought it with the purpose of making the company private and then making Twitter open source. So this way, and he wanted to also kind of like peel back some of the restrictions that you have on Twitter. It's all in an effort, according to him, to promote free speech, because he feels as though Twitter is kind of like the closest thing that we have on social media to a town hall, so to speak. And he wants everybody's voice to be heard. So there's some blowback to that because obviously there are certain people who have been banned from Twitter, like Donald Trump, like Alex Jones, a couple other people who said things that you since when? How long you been banned? Shit, if I was running Twitter, I'd ban you, but that's a whole other story. Anyway, I'm fucking with you. So yeah, so it's a little controversy because a lot of people don't know where this is gonna lead. You know, is it just gonna be a free for all, or is he gonna just let everybody back? Whatever. I feel like a lot of people are kind of making it a bigger deal than it is. Like, let's just see what the fuck happens once it gets approved, and let's see, then go from there. React in real time.
What the fuck's the worst that could happen? Trump's gonna be back on Twitter. He's not fucking hurting nobody on Twitter. Like, well, he's just making himself look like a fucking idiot.
Yes, that is one way to look at it, but
to others, he's inciting riots.
Exactly.
But he's not the president anymore. Like, but he still has influence.
He still
has tons of influence. You know,
but
less, you know, so
you know, there's still people that are like, that's my president.
Yeah, exactly. But getting to what I was gonna say, let me see if I can find it. Shit. So Elon, tying into Pusha T, Elon says he tweeted 2 hours ago. He tweeted, "Next, I'm buying Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in."
Yeah, I just read that. Yeah. I just literally read that when I opened my Instagram.
Is that real?
Hilarious.
He's joking.
No, he's probably fucking trolling. Yeah.
So I hope he should have put an LOL after that.
But Coca-Cola,
nah, why?
Coca-Cola.
You know why? Because not putting the LOL gets more people talking. Because now they're like, is he serious?
Yeah.
And that's
and
how
also
you create
Coca-Cola
attention.
At one point did have cocaine in it.
I know.
The original Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I thought you had Pepsi guy.
No, I'm joking. I really don't give a fuck. I'll take any. As long as there's no cocaine in it.
Yeah.
Great tie-in.
Yeah, so wow, Elon's a funny guy.
Yeah, so I don't think it's much ado about nothing if we're being honest.
Yeah.
You know.
But now that you brought that up about Elon, the 44 billion still seems like way too much to me. Didn't Jack Dorsey buy it for like fucking 10 million or some shit? Like,
well, I think Jack Dorsey was one of the founders, so I don't think he bought it for that. Unless he purchased it a bigger stake.
Nah,
afterwards.
I think there was another guy that Jack Dorsey bought it from.
Unless he bought
I could
a
be
bigger
wrong.
share.
I could be wrong.
I thought he was the original founder, but
I could be wrong.
Supposedly he's also going to be doing things like working to kind of get rid of like spamming and bots. He's going to verify all the humans on the app. Like, it's going to be a hard thing to do, but like I said, he's going to open the algorithm up for like regular programmers to kind of also like shadow banning is one big thing that a lot of people have accused Twitter of doing. And because Twitter is a
I feel like Instagram does.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, a lot of social media
a lot of the
apps have been accused of that. So basically, shadow banning, for people who don't know, is essentially like some of these social media apps have the power to kind of keep your posts
limit
and
your
limit
reach.
your reach from reaching out to people. So like certain things that you post might not get to all your followers like they normally would,
They're not
and
gonna
they're
push
not
it.
going to push it. So they could be selective in the way they choose to do that. What he's advocating for is that he wants to end that. So this way it's like everybody, people, like they don't pick and choose based on whether it be political reasons, financial reasons, who they're going to push. Like if I don't like this person or what he's saying, or I have a beef with this person, like they're going to make it so that everybody, like it's more equal. Like, but that's easier said than done. We'll see how that works out.
I don't think it's a
But
bad idea, but yeah,
Facts.
like you said, it might not be easy to do.
yeah. So
Also, this has nothing to do with Twitter, but this back to music. Kendrick Lamar announced the album dropping in May.
what's the official album title? Mr.
Morale
and the Big Steppers.
Which, if we believe Pusha has one of the best albums of the year, a classic.
Give it another 2 weeks.
Do we see Kendrick kind of like overshadowing and making people totally forget about?
I mean, it definitely overshadows it in the mainstream.
Mainstream, I feel like you're not gonna hear nothing about Pusha no more now because of this.
Yeah, like it definitely overshadows it in the
But the
mainstream.
bar has been raised.
I can't really have.
But the bar has been raised.
Kendrick got to come with it, which I believe he will.
Yeah. But
he
I believe he will also, but I believe he will in a different way. And Kendrick is the type of artist that it might not be immediate. So there's an immediacy when you listen to the Pusha album. The beats are knocking, his lyrics is straightforward, dope, and you get it. There's nothing to really kind of like bang your head against the table, kind of like trying to figure out. With Kendrick, he always throws curveballs, so you don't know what direction he's going to lean in. Are we going to get another To Pimp a Butterfly, maybe? Or are we going to get something like that's kind of like a Damn, which is a little bit To Pimp a Butterfly, but also has elements of like Good Kid, Mad City, and some of his other projects? Like, we don't know.
And something about Damn that we talked about. I don't know if it's on any podcast that came out yet, but we talked about Kendrick's discography and Damn. And one thing I forgot to mention was like also like the outside the box shit Kendrick did on Damn was like he titled certain songs Fear and then rapped about fear. Which is one of my favorite songs on that album, by the way, Fear. Love, and then made a song about love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he gave it one word and then rapped about that word. That was totally different that I feel like people have not done in hip hop.
Also, the album was in reverse.
I totally forgot. You could listen to the album in reverse. Like, how's he gonna top that? Like, what the fuck could he do like different now? Like, this album you could play in silence and stuff.
He also won a Pulitzer. He also won a Pulitzer Prize for that album. It was the first rapper to ever won a Pulitzer Prize.
Exactly.
Wow. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but yeah.
I was also gonna say, was it me and you, Aaron, that we was talking about his album release dates?
Oh yeah.
And like, they've all released a month and a day after each other.
Yeah.
Or a month. It was a month and a day, right?
So his
last album would have been for
April 14th. No, because they said the next one's gonna be June 12th. So his first album came out March 15th, right? The second no. To Pimp a Butterfly 14th. Was March 15th. Damn was April 14th. And this is coming out
this one's
May 13th.
So I said, his next album's probably going to be, so we could say his next album's going to be June 12th, whether it's next year or another year, but yeah, that's it. And it would be hard for me to believe that that's not being done on purpose by him.
I don't know. Cause like, cause you got to understand also,
Fridays
albums have to drop on a Friday.
I was going to say,
at some point
May 13th is a Friday. Yeah, May 13th.
So like, how do you know next time when you want to drop on June 12th like it's gonna come on a Friday.
You gotta wait for the year that June 12th is a Friday.
If he's literally
not,
doing
you
shit
know,
like that, then that's fucking
then
crazy.
he's wilding.
Like he's on another level.
How do you? I mean, that's the thing with Kendrick though. He's the type of artist that does a lot of conceptual stuff, and there's a lot of thought put into the concepts behind his albums, and even the imagery, and like you guys mentioned, the song titles. But it could just be a simple coincidence. But because he's the type of artist that
exactly.
he is, we might be giving it more
that we're
credence.
giving him that credit.
But I was gonna say,
it's just the way the stars aligned, which is perfect for an artist like Kendrick.
What do you guys think is gonna be the rollout for this? Because we haven't heard a single yet. Is he just gonna drop it all at once and no lead up singles?
Nah, we'll get at least one single, I think, within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I don't know that we do.
I don't think we do.
I feel like he's capable of just dropping.
I think he's gonna
get one.
I think he's gonna drop it.
And
I feel like he'll just drop it, and if we get anything, it would be more similar to like, do you remember like the Family Ties Baby Keem shit? Where it was like a 10-second clip of him rapping in the video, but it was like 15 seconds and it was backwards.
I think it could be something like that.
Just something real small like that. That's how I could see
honestly
it.
Though, since I saw him at Coachella with those cowboy boots on, I really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good point.
For real, like
he's a big stepper. He's a big
like
stepper.
Okay, he's really big stepping. Like he's jumping off the horse with the big steps.
Yeah, I think it's the dopest thing because you don't know what you're gonna get from him at all. I don't think there hasn't been any information about this project, like the producers on it, no feature lists. Nothing. And I love it because it's so contrary to what you get nowadays with the typical album setups where it's like Future album haven't come out and we already know he has a Kanye feature. He has a bunch of other features. It's like, all right, it's cool. It builds anticipation. But like Kendrick, like J. Cole, not a lot of details. They're kind of mysterious. So it's like you don't know what you're gonna get until you get it for the most part. Which is dope, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm a huge Kendrick fan. So I'm ready, but I was gonna,
but it's up to us to keep Pusha alive.
Yeah.
While Kendrick comes out.
For sure. And also, low key, I don't know if we had this discussion here before, but I believe with this recent album, I think Pusha really planted his flag for that best rapper alive kind of debate, in my opinion. I think J. Cole...
Now you're going too far.
No, I'm not. I think J. Cole... So J. Cole dropped the album last year. I think J. Cole has had a firm kind of lock on that the last several years. And there's been others like Benny the Butcher.
Wow, I love to hear that.
Conway. I'm sure you do. Benny the Butcher, Conway, Freddie Gibbs, Nas has had a resurrection. There's a lot of guys you could kind of put in that conversation who are doing their thing. But I think overall, I think Cole has a really strong argument because what he's been doing in terms of features and how active he's been for the last 2-3 years. But this new album, Cole dropped his project last summer, right? Or last spring.
I think last spring.
Yeah. So it's been a year. He does have the new track where he bodied that feature with the R&B chick from London.
London.
Was it
the track is called London. She's Bia.
There you go.
Yeah, she's not from London.
She's not?
The track is called
London. I thought she had an accent. Like I saw her in the interview.
No, she put an accent
does sound
for
like
the
she has
song.
an accent, but yeah.
Yeah. She's the one who did I wear all my jewelry just to go to the bodega.
That's right.
That's her.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's her.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the fact remains, though, I feel like
he bodied that fucking verse, though.
He did. His flow was crazy.
Oh my god!
But I feel like I said, Pusha planted the flag is like, yo, like I'm here type shit. Also, like in my opinion, I think this project.
Yeah, he's somewhere.
This project definitely kind of.
He's somewhere hanging out.
I mean, if you want to look at it from 2022, he's hands down the best rapper of 2022. Nobody has put out anything better than him.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a better argument. But you said best rapper alive.
Well,
Right
And Kendrick
now,
drops in
like,
Kendrick drops in like
it's
2
the
weeks.
well,
same
that's why I
thing,
said
kinda,
it
though.
too. That's why I said it.
Talk to me in 2
Listen,
weeks.
when I'm talking about alive, I'm talking about.
Talk to me Saturday after Future
I'm
drops.
talking about active. Future. Aaron had to fit that in. But yeah, like I'm excited though. Like I'm excited to see what Kendrick has up his sleeve and stuff. But
honestly, excuse me, I'm eating a French fry. I think J. Cole's last album was flawless as well. But as a J. Cole fan, some would say stan, I would say It's Almost Dry is better than Off Season.
I would agree.
I know you would agree. I didn't ask you that.
I could be unbiased.
Nah, I know, I'm joking.
Yeah. I'll say this. This J. Cole, all the respect in the world I give him, but for me personally, his albums, and I don't know if Junebug feels this way. I know Aaron definitely doesn't, but his albums sometimes don't have the replay factor for me.
I knew that was what you were gonna say. Yeah.
Like I'm
still bumping his shit.
I messed with Off Season. Shit was dope. But like for me, it kind of came and went. It was a moment. It was dope while I was listening to it. But then it's like, all right, you know what I mean? And maybe that just boils down to preference and like I like who I like.
Or other music that came.
Yeah, I just
out
feel
around
like
the time
he doesn't always put out music, or at least, all right, let me say this. There are definitely songs that I will replay of him that I really like, but he doesn't have many projects for me that really stick to your rib where it's like, yo, I got to play this again. I just can't get enough. You know what I mean? Like Forest Hill Drives maybe is probably the one that I would point to if I had to point to anything. I feel like that's his best project overall. Although, you know, Off Season is a contender in that conversation as well. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I agree. Like a lot of his shit lacks replay value for me sometimes.
I mean, y'all already know. Y'all know me. But for the fans out there or the people listening,
yeah,
I play his shit over. It got replay value to me. I'm a fan of For Your Eyes Only. Like I'll take the Fold and Close songs out.
That's one of the ones that I felt like had the least replay value.
So that
I'll take the Fold and Close songs out, and that's almost a perfect album.
Nah,
right
keep
there.
that shit on because man, Folding Clothes, you don't know how many times I fell asleep to that record on the train, on that train ride home. So that shit was necessary for me. That shit got me through many rush hour days, like rush hour in the city and stuff back home on that A train.
Nah, I don't want to hear that. That's disrespect to me.
Nah, I'm giving him his flowers.
Nah, but the record alone, the album title record For Your Eyes Only, to me is one of the greatest records ever. One of the best stories ever told. One of the best perspectives.
That is a great story. Yeah.
I thought For Your Eyes Only was his To Pimp a Butterfly in some ways.
In some ways it was.
It was it's not exactly like that, but I'm talking about more of it was his attempt at being conceptual, right? So like, and it was polarizing because you got some people who love it, and then some people are like, that shit wasn't for me. I don't get it. I don't understand the hype. Same thing for Pimp a Butterfly. There's people who will call it a classic, and then there's other people be like, I understand what he was trying to do. I respect it. It got some dope shit, but like, I can't really rock with it like that. So it's like, you know, that's why I compare them.
Word. And yeah. Other than that, fucking, this is Kendrick's last album on TDE.
Yeah,
which is that is a big
PG
deal,
Lang.
You know? Now it's gonna be a new.
I just figured out what PG Lang means. Did you get that? So Dave Free.
PG Lang, fool.
Something language.
Yeah. So Dave Free just tweeted, I think today or yesterday, PG is the operating system. Bring your files. Less work, co-developers. And then he says PG Lang / program language. Kind of dope.
Program language. That's dope as fuck.
Yeah, and if you've been to the site looks like it just has a folder, and it's like it almost looks like really like it's not even a high quality folder. It almost looks like a desktop, and it
like the old Windows 2000.
Yeah, or some shit like Windows 95. It's like pixelated.
Yeah,
and when you open it up, it has like the press release that Kendrick recently released to announce his album and stuff like that. But it's like it's very bare bones. It almost looks like you're entering like some fucking C++ JavaScript shit that you're about to see, or like some coding stuff. Like it's very like minimalistic in that way.
That's cool. So yeah, anything else y'all wanna talk about, touch on before we wrap up?
Nah, I think that's
free all the homies.
Free all the homies, always. Yeah.
Shout out to all the big steppers.
How much listeners you think we got in jail?
In jail?
Yeah, you saying free all the homies, so it's like you think
at least one.
At least one. Probably. Shouts to you, my dude. Like keep your head up. Or it could be a female too. I don't know.
Where?
Yeah.
Free shorty.
Free shorty. Yeah.
Nah, but on that note, tune in next week. We'll be back, of course, as always. Other than that, make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, turn on the notifications, share.
Word. Also,
tell a friend.
Also respect the new mics that Aaron and Junebug have. Like, if you're watching this and you're not listening on YouTube, like,
yeah,
like we stepping up. We stepping up, game.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind, but
it's going up.
I'll get there.
We're investing.
Yeah.
In our dreams. So keep supporting our dreams.
Yes.
And we'll support y'all back as soon as we can. You know what I'm saying? Because the goal is to get to another level. Eventually, we going to want to do live shows, and we want all of y'all, all of our people there. So let's just keep rocking with the rocking.
What are you, Nardward? Keep on rocking in the free world.
Free world and doot to the loot doot.
Doot.
Love, peace, all that.
Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Peace. Peace.